All right, now we're live. Sorry, that took me a minute to figure out. I haven't been on live stream in a while. I am going through looking at stuff, and I am now in the shock of weird despair. And yeah, I'm waiting for the thing to pop up. Bob, it's not telling me anything. And the wife's idiot dog is deciding to climb over everything. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to find my live on YouTube here. Oh, let's see here. No, I'm not intentionally just pissing away everything. I should probably open another box here. Up on my speed. That way I have more stuff to do. Yeah. Okay. Um, just to start off the video, since the election day, I have lost one subscriber because I decided to air my disappointment in America as a whole. And since that brings me down to 36 total subscribers, I have to laugh because wow, one person leaves. Holy crap, I'm insulted. You can't hear the sarcasm dripping on my voice, you're lost. Well, that was incredibly close. If you didn't hear that, that was sirens in the background, but it comes from living in this damn neighborhood. But as Dumbledore said, alas, what I want to do is, for one, I want to cover a brief subject, tariffs, because apparently a lot of MAGA heads don't understand how tariffs work. We're going to tariff China. We're going to tariff. Tariffs do not work the way you think the tariffs work. When a company makes those products overseas and then sends them here, when they come to dock, that's when the tariffs are set in motion. They don't charge the country they came from. Those tariffs are charged when they hit us. And if they're hitting a 60% tariff, then who do you think is paying for that tariff? It's not the country who just sent the damn stuff. It's us. If you're too stupid to figure that out, I can't help you with that level of dumb fuckery here. And anybody who tells you that, oh, tariffs is a good thing, I've seen a lot of YouTubers like, well, tariffs are a good thing. It won't affect me. They're driving a brand new vehicle. They're getting plenty of overtime on their job. That will all end. Employers don't want to pay all that crap. And if they tell you anything other than that, then they're full of shit. Seriously, they are literally full of shit. Because whether you like it or not, that's how tariffs work. Like, as a reminder of how a tariff works, we were tariffed by, I think it was Japan, maybe China. It's getting hard to remember, but we had a lot of pigs, and we were trying to sell them. They were tariffing us, and there it is. Yay! Sorry, I found it. I wanted to see what the comments were going to be like. But yeah, it's what happened was we sent a fuckload of pork overseas, and they refused to buy it. They found another supplier, and the price of pork was steadily going up. When they found out they couldn't sell these pigs, the story in the stock market was that these pigs were diseased and we were trying to sell them to another country. They caught wind of us and shut us down, which may or may not have been true. I don't know. Either way, we couldn't sell them the pigs. We had to bring them back here empty-handed, and the price of pork fucking rock bottomed. Pork became fucking cheap as shit. And we're talking not that long ago. And that's the positively odd part about it. Hello, Swamp Rose. I already said hi to Bob, so. That is an easy explanation of tariffs. Is another country was putting tariffs on us, and from what I understand from the ag report, our pigs were sick with flu or some crap, and then we tried to sell them while they were sick, and they said they had to destroy the pigs, but all of a sudden the price of pork's just rock bottomed because they couldn't sell the pigs they were planning on it, and now they had to keep that, and because they flooded out the market, it lowered the price. Is it me or him? I have no idea. But yeah, that's how tariffs work. I just heard today that Elon Musk's internet company Starlink was involved with the vote. From what I've been hearing, they used Starlink to send the results of the presidential election to where they needed to go. Okay, and yet Elon Musk is supporting Trump full-heartedly. Donated 44 million. I'm guessing the signal is him? I don't know. But anyway, there were plenty of first-time voters, a lot of first-time voters for this presidential election. I will point out, however, in a discrepancy in the voting from last time with Biden and Trump versus this time with Kamala versus Trump. Roughly, Trump had the same amount, plus or minus a million more. It's got to be your end. I don't think it's my end, but it could be. I don't know. It might be the speed. I don't know what it is. I'm hooked up to the internet, and it's home Wi-Fi. So if it keeps cutting out, I don't know what to tell you because, yeah. But as far as the election goes, with voting, Trump had like 1 or 2 million more than he had last time with the Biden administration. And I noticed a discrepancy of roughly 10 to 13 million people not even voting this time, because there was only like 67, 68 million people voting for Harris. That's a lot of people not voting. Like a lot of people not voting. 11 million people is a huge number because it is. Now we're being told that all this crap's going to come true. Everything's going to be deregulated because, well, billionaires want to make more money. And Trump saying that his deregulating stuff is going to bring jobs and companies back. That's not how it works. The industry works. The reason you deregulate is to let rich corporations and companies do what they want without having to answer for it. And then, for legally, Elon Musk's $1 million giveaway is illegal, or was illegal, and the Justice Department didn't just have the balls to say, that's illegal. I don't care how you word it. You're rewarding for people to register to vote and to vote to sign your petition to back up the Second Amendment and all this other crap. No, he's paying you to be a Trump fan. That's what he's doing. It doesn't matter how wizardly his lawyers are. That's what he was doing. And it's illegal. He needs to be called out on that. I 13 million people didn't like either candidate. I'm not buying that. I'm not going to buy that, Bob. Just straight up. What I find puzzling is they're going to deregulate everything so that billionaires can make even more money by not having red tape to go through, so they can poison our air, water, and ground. They can drill for oil wherever the fuck they want to. Goodbye to a lot of shit we have now. All because, well, our nation needs to be prosperous. No, you want to fucking drill to make $1 billion or trillions of dollars over the next 20 years. No, shame on you. And Elon Musk shouldn't be trying to get he shouldn't be handed any position in the government, because it's a conflict of interest, because he has government contracts for his companies. It makes it illegal and unethical. And yes, I know what you're all saying. It's probably so, but how are we going to stop it? We don't, because Teflon Don doesn't think he's touchable. I mean, people of all this time. Let's see. I don't know if you can actually. I get it's your opinion, Swamp Rose. I get it, but we're not the cleanest oil on the. We're not the cleanest in the world at getting oil. I mean, there are oil spills in Alaska all the time. But yeah, I'm not for just drilling for oil all the time. I mean, as of right now, we don't actually need to drill for oil or natural gas. We live in an era of excess. Not an era of access, of excess. We have too much. We have too much shit going on. If that's your opinion's your opinion, Swamp Rose, I'm not going to try to change your mind. I'm just letting you know what some of the facts are. But that's not all. We actually do have alternatives, Swamp Rose. The problem is Big Oil doesn't want you to have those alternatives. Back when the war on terror began, we were looking at green energy, and then we found out, and other oil companies found out they could take over the oil because it had been abandoned. And we could claim territory or eminent domain over that or whatever. and we're not even fully cranking out enough wind power. We're doing it wrong with wind power. Let's put it that way. The windmills aren't. They're not very productive. They're not as productive as they should be. Solar can be a better choice, but again, we're doing it wrong. We're in the infant. 20 years ago is when we should have had our green energy explosion, when we should have started building infrastructure and all that crap. And then 9/11 happened, and then all of the people who were going to all these companies that were going to Afghanistan discovered if they held the oil for companies so that companies could claim it, they'd get rich. The companies who were getting the oil would get rich. And we stopped giving a fuck about green energy because, yeah, war is hell. Let's see. Windmills are among the biggest environmental atrocity in the history of the world. Cite a source for windmills are the biggest environmental atrocity. I'm going to need a source material for that one. Solar is more toxic than almost anything else in our landfills. According to whom? If we're doing it properly, which we're not yet, we're learning. But like windmills as they exist right now aren't doing it efficiently enough. I think it was, people love to argue that they're like 70 or 80% productive as far as turning wind and energy. No, it's not. When it takes a crane to lift each fin up and an hour to hook up each fin blade, because they weigh a couple of several tons, and then a little gust of wind is supposed to. No, that's not doing it appropriately. Wow, I'm seeing a lot of claim, but no evidence to back that up. And yes, I pay attention to that sort of thing. How does offshore wind kill 1,000 whales in Europe? Are the blades underground, or is this something I don't know about? Because I'd love to know where you got this story from. The windmills are killing our birds and flocks. Partially, yes. And windmills aren't as dangerous as you think they are for wildlife. Now, when they're going full blast in, say, a hurricane or a tornado, yes. But we haven't learned to harness wind power or solar power or any alternative power except for maybe water power. That we've kind of gotten down, considering we've been using it for like 100 years. We're still not great at it yet. We have a great turnover rate. I think the rate is like 75%, but we're not there to that alternative. Yeah, okay. Speculation. Everything you say is speculation. I can accept that. But claiming it as a fact makes you sound more radical than most of the people I see on TV. I don't watch radical stuff a lot, so. But thank you for your opinion. For me, we still need to come up with photovoltaic cells that are beyond what we can make right now. But we're not honestly dipping hard enough into alternative fuel sources to have a green new plan. And with the oil, with this created oil with this oil, with us saying, "Oh, we need to be more energy independent." We already are energy independent. I don't know where you live, but that must be a really small town. And I don't want to know what news sources you guys pay attention to in your town, because that's everybody watches the different news. Three-quarters of the news I don't even pay attention to. There's a common sticking thread that goes through all the stories that makes them all make sense. And when I look those little threads I've noticed in the story up, boom, they end up being the entire story, and everything else is just hype up or hype down. That's just the way that is. And like I've already said, windmills are inefficient. So is solar, but at least they're a start. They're better than where we were 20 years ago, somewhat. They are, I think, 15 to 20% more efficient than they were before 9/11. But again, oil companies and oil speculators don't want you to invest in green energy. Green energy is going to cost as much money as oil and gas and natural gas to develop. And these were done by fucking everyday people who just happen to get lucky. Oh, I talk politics on it all the time. But I take on really racy subjects half the time too. But like the whole windmills killing birds thing, for me, that stinks. I'm not saying this to you, but I hear that most from people who are Trump supporters. Well, it's killing all of our what? No, it's not. It's killing like 1% of anything that hits it. Now, if they're moving fast, again, with high winds, that could kill a bird. I get that. But birds are more likely to crash into low-flying planes like they do here. Bird strike is it's commonly referred to. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just telling you what talking about birds hitting wind farms and windmills is like. That's what it reminds me of, is the rhetoric on the right about people saying, well, this is saying, no, it's not. And 10 million barrels of oil spilling out of a ship and killing off everything, every form of life within a mile of a beach isn't wrong versus, what, 5-10 birds a year for one windmill? I'm sorry, but the numbers don't even compare when you're talking about hundreds of thousands of fish, birds, microbes, plant life, everything in the water, let alone the shit on land that eats the crap that crawls out of the water. It's a huge deal. Now, as it is, we need to come up with better alternative sources of energy and not drill, baby, drill. For anybody who says that we were shot down of being a great country again because of the natural gas pipeline, we were everybody who shouted about the natural gas pipeline or whatever were on the payroll of the natural gas and oil companies to push it through. They were already paid for politicians. And you know who stood the most to benefit from that pipeline? Russia. You don't have to agree with me. I already know. I already did the research. I believe I covered this in a podcast a while back. Supersonic glass. Okay. But the pipeline is a rigged situation where you had Ted Cruz and a lot of other guys who were paid by that company to push their pipeline. That's who was on there. Hello, echoes of clarity. I don't know who you are either, but um, they might want to be reopen the Keystone Pipeline, but those are people who stand to profit from it. They literally stand to profit from the pipeline being built. Who stands to lose from it? Us, we the people. Congressmen are already greased up and paid for, so they don't care if it gets built or not. They've already got the money in their pocket as long as they push it. As long as they push the pipeline, they get paid. Period. And like I said, we could do if we would actually put fucking money down into this technology to improve it, because when gas production, when like oil production started, we were using very crude machines. We still use very crude machines to do some of the pumping, but from the time it comes out of the earth to the time it gets to us, it's been through like 14, 15 different processings so that it's gas or kerosene or any other number of products that it is. Hello, Justin Cooper, who I don't know who you are either, but welcome. I'm still trying to get my brain past this thing of the MAGA Republican Party stating that we need to do this, we need to do, and the problem is that's not progressive. It's not even healthy. It's toxic. Just like when he says he's gonna, when the guy for the EPA says he's gonna deregulate everything. Okay, so you want to breathe in smog everywhere. You want to drink dirty water, walk on dirty ground, and when you throw a match at a lake, you want the whole thing lighting up. Because deregulating what they can do and what they can't do is what keeps everything clean. Because you think these big-ass companies are saying, we need to protect the environment, we need to keep the earth clean. No, fuck you. It's built. Throw everything we don't need back in the fucking land. Let them deal with the shit. We made our $1 billion. We're gonna get fined $400 million. We made $1 billion. Who cares? If they're making in the tens of billions, they're not gonna give a shit. Again, with your permitting premise, they're paying off congressmen to let them have permits. It's still greasing the politicians' pockets. They're making a push to keep this going. That way, they get more money. Thank you for saying it's a great live. But I'm simply stating facts here. I may be throwing a little bit of opinion considering I'm unaffiliated, so I'm not a MAGA head, nor was I a Kamala head. I was just an independent, and yes, I voted for Kamala because there was a lack of choice on the ticket, and I sure as fuck wasn't voting for Trump. I can't vote for that to be in the White House again. I can't do it. You might, I can't. That's just the way I'm going to stay. But it's just ironic. And so far, all the immigration thing right now is, well, what happens if somebody's upset because you sent their family? They can go with their family. Okay, well then we have to get rid of Elon Musk. We have to get rid of Melania Trump. We have to get rid of a bunch of people that we think we know. We have to get rid of them because they're here. They came here either illegally or they were put in illegally. into the system and came out clean on the other side, which means they're not, which means they wouldn't be citizens. That also means that Baron Trump would be shipped back to where Melania came from. I don't know what the no's about, but okay. I vote for those who are to make the best decisions for America as the greater good. And I want us to be a progressive nation. Yes, there is still some conservatism that can be in there, but we're not talking, you need to go to church and we're going to make you go to church. No, fuck you. And yes, I stand on this. I have this hill that I stand on. You can be whatever religion you want, but mandating me by our Constitution, by breaking our Constitution, to be Christian is not only unethical, it's unconstitutional and illegal. And I say, fuck you. You're not allowed to press your religion onto me because you want me to go to heaven. If I'm going to go to heaven, it's going to be a surprise to me. And it's not that I'm an asshole or that I would say that I'm not God fearing, but with Mango Mussolini, I really can't believe that that God is being very nice. Yeah, Swamp Rose, they're legal citizens. I'm not understanding why they're getting shipped back in this scenario. Because Trump preyed on the racism and xenophobia in this country. A lot of you can run into these videos galore on YouTube and Twitter where they need to go back where they came from. Dude, they're second generation Americans. They were born here. They don't care. They're not white. They don't even kind of look white, and they can speak another language. They're guilty as charged as far as most people go. You can have your thing of Kamala not running the country because she's not clearly. Obviously, the election didn't go that way. Don't do organized religion. That is another form of control. Depends on who you're going to. I went to like 2 churches in my life that, if you're going to believe in God, God seemed to actually be there. And they weren't very big churches. But you felt something going there. Let's see, did I miss any other questions? Melania has been a citizen for decades. Her child was born in this country. And she came here illegally. And Donald pushed some money into the national into getting her citizenship, and so it was fast-tracked. That's why she has citizenship, which, by their own definition now, is illegal immigration. And Barron would be considered an anchor baby for her. You have to remember, she's married to Donald Trump. If Donald Trump says that he won't leave his wife, he needs to go too. He's got to follow all the same laws we do. He's supposed to. Just like with all of his lawsuits slowly dissolving because he'll be back in the White House and the DOJ doesn't go after sitting presidents. And he's also packed a conservative court justice supermajority. Makes it kind of hard to do anything to him. The only silver lining for me is one, he can only serve 1 more term. And 2, if Republicans ever try to suggest he should serve a 3rd term, No. If he serves a third term, bring Obama back. I want Obama to fix everything he's going to fuck up. And yes, I was an Obama supporter. Obama fucking turned a train wreck into a prosperous country. I don't care what you think. I was alive and well, and I was me and my girlfriend at the time were making hand over fist, and then the market crash hit, and all of a sudden, hundreds of thousands and millions of people lost their jobs. Okay. I don't know. I'll probably become a running joke on Discord like I have in the past, but I don't give a shit. Let's see. What do you think about organizations like Scientology in Christchurch? Isn't Christchurch in England? Or is that in Australia? Christchurch. Scientology. Well, Scientology is a pay-to-play religion. So it's, in fact, a multi-level marketing religion where the more you pay and the more powerful you become and the more renowned your face is, the less you have to do. You can buy your way into being a better human being. The Latter-day Saints, I grew up a Latter-day Saint and a chest-thumping Republican, so LDS, I grew up in it and heard a lot of stuff. I heard everybody dissing it, but I didn't ever see what everybody else was talking about. I never saw it at all. And so when people are like, oh, you go to be a god of this other planet when you die, like, yeah, no, I never heard that in LDS, despite what Matt Parker and Trace Stone, or whatever the hell their names are, the guys from South Park, no matter what they might have said, I don't buy that. All of Idaho Christchurch. Don't know, but it sounds like a bad idea. Having a national religion is unconstitutional in the first goddamn place, and nobody's going to force their religion onto me. Trust me, the Latter-day Saints and the Jehovah's Witnesses here try. When I tell them hell Satan, or I ask them to come in and we start talking about the book of Satan and the Dark Lord's work, they leave. And no, I don't actually do the Satan worshiping shit. I do it to fuck with them. If they're gonna press their shit onto me, press it right back. 21st in Andover. Yeah, I don't know. Don't really care. I don't really pay attention to churches unless they're trying to impede their opinion upon me. Let's see. What's next? Do I think that fraternities and Greek systems should be allowed in our colleges? That depends. That's a really tough question. But I think if you stop with the 1940s hazing of college students, like, well, you need to drink this 102 ounces beer in a beer chug in as few air breaks as possible, and then run around the female dorms with no fucking clothes on while singing "I'm an Oscar Mayer wiener," and then you have to cover yourself in boot polish and jump off a bridge. That, I think, should be banned. Strength and endurance tests for those who can physically pull them off. Yes, it might bring them together, but if you're gonna make your pledges go through hardship, make it a hardship that everybody can survive. They may not like it; it may inconvenience them, but it does build teamwork. It does build teams and families out of it. So I'm against alcohol and drug abuse, like getting drunk to the point where you die kind of shit. But I think to a certain extent, adversities and challenges help build character and teamwork. It's like a cult. I don't know what you're talking about there, but okay. What do I feel about the mess that is New York City now? I don't know. You'd have to tell me. You'd have to tell me more about the situation for me to elucidate more on that one. Because I can't work with nothing. If you would like to spell what's going on out, and if I agree with it or not, I can give you that answer. But I I've been paying attention to a 5-person murder here. I believe it's called a quintuple murder here in where I live, and it happened less than 4 miles away from me. What do I think about the death penalty? That depends on what they did. If you're a pedophile, gone. Don't care. Don't really give a shit. If you're a rapist, gone. If you're a serial killer, gone. If you're a schizophrenic and medicine isn't working for you, or you're just so clung to the fact that medicine is poison when it's clearly helping you, it makes you feel dead. Well, it's either you feel dead or we all end up dying from you. So in certain cases, I'm for the death penalty. In other cases, I'm not. It really does go case specific there. Migrant flew over in New York. Are you saying a migrant flew a commercial jet over New York or something, or what? I don't know. I've been so busy with keeping my social media from driving me fucking crazy by watching moronic and funny TikTok videos of people that I like. But yeah. What is the life about? What am I supposed to be asking about? You could ask about political policies of Trump or, whatever. I'm not boxing you in on that, but that's what this podcast is about, is to discuss the rank coming from the right. Whether or not you enjoy hearing that or not doesn't matter to me. I'm smelling the ennui, the filthy ennui coming from the right because, well, we won. Now we're going to do everything we want to do. Yeah, that's been tried. It was tried in Kansas by Brownback. It failed miserably. Sent us into debt. Well, the migrant problem. Okay, let's cover that here real fast. They're being shipped to very large cities that probably have plenty of work, but they need people with Social Security cards who are legal citizens. And if they're going to dump them someplace where people can most use undocumented migrants, drop them off in rural areas where they usually work on farms, making almost nothing. Anyway, do you have an opinion on the corporate tax rate? Yes. The corporate tax rate isn't high enough. The corporate tax rate is actually lower. A lot of the rich people on Rumble, Wimkin, Truth Social, all these places, we're getting taxed a lot. You're getting taxed less than 10%. During Ike Eisenhower's term, they were getting charged, 59%, and it kept them honest and kept them from being billionaires in like a year because it was high tax rate. Then they got all these presidents who were into giving rich people tax breaks. Sorry, it's getting hot. I got to take the hat off. I normally don't take the hat off, but I'm starting to sweat. But corporate tax rates need to be increased. If they say, well, we don't like that, you're making $1 billion a year, shut up. You're making $1 billion easily in a year for profit. Don't tell us that it's not fair. You have 5 houses that are the size of fucking Aaron Spelling's mansion in 5 different places on Earth. Don't tell us, don't tell the working people that it's not fair when we're getting taxed more than 25%. Okay, going on FEMA blocking aid to everybody that hung a rep flag in their house. You know, I would love to say that FEMA should block them because most of the Republican chest thumping people are saying, we want this, but we don't want this. We want to be able to choose every little thing that we. No, you don't get to do that. But unfortunately, a disaster happened there in some of these Republican areas, and they still need aid. Are we going to give them a mansion? No. You get the necessities. You get the necessities just like the poor people do. What do you think the most effective thing we can do to stop the fentanyl crisis in this country? Number one, take a write down, make a post on each port with the list of all the ingredients and the ingredients that can be turned into fentanyl, and ban the import of those drugs unless they are in their final form. And then only for medical purposes, they have to be sold to drug companies, not to street gangs and shit like that. What would keep the corporations here if we raise it to higher than our neighboring than all of our neighboring countries? Corporations want to keep all of their money. Like when Trump did that trickle down thing, and a lot of corporations gave their people checks. Those checks weren't very big. You weren't going to make $10,000 off it. The companies absorbed most of that, and then gave what they wanted to their employees. So that argument of, well, they're going to leave. They're already rich. They have nothing to gain by. They have nothing to lose by, or they have nothing to gain by coming back here and paying a living wage or anything like that. Okay. After a natural disaster, you think that age, or is that age or aid, should be given equally to people and all the people in the United States? Unfortunately, in most cases, yes, I do believe that it needs to be shared equally. I don't give a shit if you were Elon. I don't give a shit if you were Jeff Bezos and your house was wiped out. Here's your 3 cases of water. Well, I've got 5 kids. 3 cases of water, a loaf of bread, and a couple jars of peanut butter and jelly. Now, fuck off. Your house gets wiped off the face of the earth. You get the same supplies every fucking buddy else does. If you can't afford that with your bank account, I don't know what to tell you. If the precursor is for fentanyl come from China, what do you think? Do you think there's a solution involving China in terms of stopping the fentanyl crisis? I'm asking for a friend. Well, see, for most people, a very, very small amount of fentanyl will kill them. You can always ask George Floyd on that one. Pun intended. Not very much will kill you. I'm thinking precursor stuff for fentanyl should be heavily monitored. It needs to be regulated like pseudoephedrine was when Breaking Bad came out. Every fucking meth head wanted to start buying a shit ton of pseudoephedrine and start making meth. It should be regulated the exact same way, without reservation and without worrying about it. I figured you said aid. That's why I went on that rant there. I don't believe in equity when it comes to delivering aid after our natural disaster. We're on the same page, Scotsman. Aid, not aid. China is opium. No, China's not just opium. It would be nice if that's all they were, but then your big pharma dies without China. If you go to one of my previous podcasts, I also cover big pharma. It's from like a couple of years ago now. Who are some of my favorite YouTube content creators? Let's see, and this is going to sound hella political, but I don't give a shit. Baron Cousins, Dave Packman, Brian Taylor Cohen, Cody's Lab, Mr. Ballin. Oh God, what's that? Home Free. If you don't know who any of these people are, it's not hard to look them up. So, then other than that, I kind of enjoy the Fire Monkey Forge. His content's just breathtakingly beautiful. It's like watching it's like Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool, the Green Lantern, and Van Wilder all in the same room. They're all the same guy, just different characters, which is basically the same thing. Yeah, the Young Turks is pretty good most of the time, but I tended to wind down from their stuff. And I spent a lot of time watching videos on fixing stuff or stupid crap that doesn't really matter because it's fun to watch. And here lately I've been getting more into TikTok videos. Not because YouTube isn't useful, but I've been watching YouTube since forever. Like, I don't even remember when I first watched YouTube, but it was under an old email address that is now officially about to be 25, almost 25 years old. I made that account. I made my original account back in like 1998. But the Young Turks, for the most part, I mean, the lead guy Sink. My only problem with him is the last time before the Israel Hamas thing happened, he would get pissy with people who said that Palestine's the one bombing people and they're just heartless, soulless people. I don't believe they're heartless and soulless, but Hamas works within Palestine. And yes, I have covered that in a video too. Palestinians are covered in a video. No, you're fine. Mr. Ballin's awesome. But we actually bought my daughter the Mr. Ballin book, the physical hardback book, as kind of an early present for her. And I got her into it, so I can't really complain about it. What do I think of the liberals losing it in videos on TikTok? Well, first of all, let's lose the terminology liberal. Because you sound like a fucking idiot when you say it like that. Well, what do you think about the liberals? You mean, what do I think about the people speaking their mind? And they actually make more sense than the people who are backing everything Trump? I'd call that free thinking and free speaking instead of being discontented and disrespectful about it. I mean, how would you feel if I how would you feel if I called you Mango Mussolini follower? I don't think liberal is the right term. Maybe free thinkers because they know how to think for themselves, use their brains. If you're going to disseminate information, then you just cherry pick the shit out of whatever you want, like most preachers do in church. When you're going to cherry pick one thing out of context and try to put it in context with something else, you lose the context of both things you've put together because they weren't meant to go together at all. So liberals losing it on TikTok? You mean like Republican conservative Christians lost their shit on TikTok for 4 years when he lost and wouldn't admit that he lost and tried to claim that he won the election? 4 years of claiming he didn't lose? But how do I feel about the liberals losing it? Yeah, you're going to have to come up with a better question than that. I mean, they lost it more than Trump supporters did back in 2020 because their discontent caused January 6th. And yes, I think them releasing January 6th rioters and insurrectionists is wrong. I think it's wrong to do that because they were a violent threat to the country. They wanted to stop something that they should not have been trying to stop. Well, y'all, you got about 15 minutes, maybe a little less. Do I think the election was somehow rigged by Elon Musk? I'm starting to believe in that theorem. I have no evidence backing it up, so I can't give you hard fact or hard data on it. But I honestly believe that somehow he managed to untraceably rig it. And then all the people who would be asking how it got rigged and why it ended up this way, all those people are gone. He got rid of anybody who didn't fervently believe that the election was stolen from him. And once he wins the election, it was a fair election. Really? How do I feel about the UK interfering with your elections? I need proof of that. Russia, Iran, China, I buy those people. Hacking, trying to interfere with the election. The UK, not a chance in hell. It sounds more like a deep-welled conspiracy theory that hasn't been proven yet to me. But that's just me. In order for me to feel about that, you'd have to present some sort of evidence that proves that, and not just some whack job paper on the right wing, from the right wing or Truth Social, saying that they're doing it. Because they also think that all the right wing also thinks that the Democrats are blood drinking adrenochrome junkies who are killing virgin children so they can drink their blood and remain immortal. Yes, I've heard this shit. And unfortunately, that theory is bullshit because adrenochrome is actually fucking toxic to humans. That's why our blood washes it away. CCHD sent 100 people over to the swing states. Do I have any concerns about the U.S. voting system? I'm beginning to now. And no, it's not because I voted for Kamala and she didn't win. It's because the numbers don't add, the numbers as far as I've done them don't add up. I'm seeing discrepancies. And not small ones. Like discrepancies that add up to 1 million aren't discrepancies at that point. Discrepancies that add up to 5 or 10 people, those are dead ends. The censorship group, I don't know where you're getting your news from, but I also heard about the CCHD in swing states on Truth Social, so I'm not going to even bother with that one. I don't acknowledge any stories from Truth Social because they are debunked right-wing bullshit. Because Alex Jones posts there a lot, as does Dan Bongino, Candace Owens, Donald Trump, all these fucking right-wingers post there to get their jollies off. And I'm not subscribing to that filth. And I've read plenty of stories from them, and literally most of it's just made up tripe that was either made on QAnon.com or some other right-wing bullshit site who wants everything to be like when Alex Jones sells a health supplement on his channel, he's selling placebo. He's not selling health products. He's selling a product so he can make a profit, so he can keep so he can keep InfoWars going. As far as I know, InfoWars is still going. So yeah. Yeah, Alex Jones. He's one of those people who is even trashier than Trump. Because telling people to inject bleach into their skin. Yes, I watched that news briefing live. He did say it. He wasn't joking. He was actually looking into it. And this man is that dumb. And I don't want to say he's dumb, but goddamn it, if the boot fits, put that shit on, lace it up. Candace Owens, my problem with her, since you're saying you really love Candace Owens, Candace Owens was a liberal who then who changed her entire stance on everything and became a right-wing conservative black lady married to a Jew, and now says she knows what it's like to be white and black. No, she doesn't. And has garnered her popularity based on her shared conservative views with other popular right-wingers. So she literally sold herself out for fame and fortune. Candace doesn't go a bit hard. She goes a lot hard. She's like listening. Half the time she's like listening to Judge Janine. Judge Janine. I think it's Shapiro. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just getting confused with Ben Shapiro. But Janine literally just spews vitriol out of her mouth. Well, it's like the cadence of her speech alone. It's like if Kamala Harris were 10 times more annoying, that would be Judge Janine. But anyway, I'm going to get off Candace Owens because, it's stupid. I think people are people. We shouldn't label them left or left when they right when they left. They're just people who have opinions and maybe just don't vote on one issue, in your opinion. And Candace, I don't see how she was. Janine Pirro. There you go. Candace Owens, I had never even heard of her until Trump's first time in office. That's when I heard of her. And I'll have to disagree with you, Swamp Rose. She doesn't follow her heart. She follows what everybody's talking about. I have literally seen her jump on a bandwagon subject just because it was polarizing, and then she calls out all these people who don't need to be called out and says that they're unethical and they're just worried about the optics. No, you're reporting on this because of the optics that makes you look like you're involved when you really don't have an opinion. You're just jumping on a bandwagon that you believe everybody wants to be on. You can have your opinion, but up until the first, it's just like hearing about that bitch who's been around Trump a lot here lately. I can't remember her name anymore. That's how much effort I put into memorizing her name. Candace Owens doesn't know how to stick to one lane. She wants to be on the throbbing pulse of American right-wing conservative politics. That's what she wants. I've heard that she was young, or I heard that she was rich when she was young, but I don't know. I didn't know about Candace Owens until much, much later, like when Trump started coming out. What about Megyn Kelly? I don't listen to Megyn Kelly anymore. I used to before Trump was in office and all that, but yeah. And I still am truly disappointed in my country and we the people after overall because of how the election turned out. With everybody assuming with all these political pundits saying they know why because they asked questions. No, you did. People aren't telling you the truth. You can think that she's feeling the way she does, all that crap, and her pushing the cringe factor. Yes and no. She pushes the cringe factor in the wrong way, but there are certain things I've agreed with her on. But every time she hops on a live, because I've seen a few of her lives, she's hitting the hot button issue at that exact moment. Like when it came to abortion rights, she jumped on that and jumped on. She was espousing the exact same shit you would expect from a right winger. And well, abortion is wrong, bitch. Have you ever had sex with Has anybody ever just taken you without your permission and left you a wasted pool of flesh and tears? No, because you grew up privileged. And somebody like that, I'm not going to listen to about sexual assault and abortion because she has no idea what the fuck she's talking about at all. Let's see. No, not Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly wasn't the one with Trump, you dumbass. Wait, come on, Bob. Think a little harder. That chick that right winger who's an extremist. And we have less than 5 minutes, people. I'm just letting you know we have less than 5 minutes to go. I can't remember the chick's name, but then again, that's because I moved on with life and I have a job. But again, you can believe whatever you want to about these right wingers. I don't care. That's a you thing, not a me thing. But again, I don't like what America did. I don't like what we the people did because we didn't vote for freedom. We didn't vote for all these lofty ideals that we were raised on. We voted based on a cult of personality. I didn't, but all the right wingers did. Because half of the crap that Trump has said is full of crap and can't be done. Bob, no. Megyn Kelly isn't the one that was always with Trump. Jesus, you're thinking of the blonde. I'm thinking of the chick with the black hair. Damn, dude, you're stuck on like Megyn Kelly for some reason. I know it's not Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly apparently switched at some point during the Biden presidency. Because she used to be fervently anti-Trump, and now she's, well, we need to back it. No, it's because you all are fucking riding a pony of popularity. No, not Stormy Daniels, but I like the thought process there. That's very awesome. Bob going to slap your ass? Sarah Huckabee Sanders? Is she at all of his rallies? Does she follow him around like a lost puppy? No! I'm going to slap your ass with a cast iron spaghetti noodle. Jesus Christ, man. Stormy Daniels. Jesus Christ. That was... that's got to be the funniest comment of the night right now. I don't remember this chick's name, but she's a shock podcaster, I guess you'd call it. I can't remember her name right now. She's heavily anti-Semitic, even though she's Jewish. Go figure that one out. And she's also pro-Israel, and somehow she's an anti-Semite and anti-Palestinian, or anti-Palestine, even though she prefers the Israelites to the Palestinians. Go figure that shit out. She's got a rhyming name, like it's a double name. It's the name starts with the same. Her first and last name, I believe, start with the same letter. I'm not sure who it is though. Right-wing chick who was hanging out with President Trump. Laura Loomer. Jesus Christ, man. Yep. Have fun, Swamp Rose. We'll talk at you later, I guess, or whenever. Yeah, Laura Loomer is a cancer on the right wing, but we're going on news time, and I need to watch a few of the news stories, not all of them, mainly the weather. But you guys have a terrific evening, and I'm signing the fuck out of here. So, peace out, sleep well, and yeah, think a little bit. If the button would work, it would be great.